anybody else's hands, this is a microphone. In my hands, it's a pipe
too much can be done on this mic that I ain't doing better.
Pipe bombs, pipe bombs, pipe bombs. In anybody else's hands, this is a microphone.
Alright ladies, I've come back with my second edition of the financial report brought to you by me. And as you can see, Liliana once again has not moved. Like I said last week, Garrick Primal Hunter did go up and Garrick Relentless did go down. So we obviously have found a top for Garrick Relentless. And that top is $20.03. So it might hit that level again. It may never hit that level again. To be honest, if you have extra Koth or you're not, Garrick, and you're not using it, sell. Like I said, Elspeth Terrell was very overpriced at 22-ish. She's dropped down a lot, and that's a lot for MTGO because cards usually move in small increments. Koth, my favorite of the Planeswalkers, has not moved. So you can still technically buy him for the same price as last week. Then you have Venser. Venser's finally moved up. It took a long time. It took a lot of people playing Venser decks right before tomorrow, but when Dark Ascension is released online, but Venser went up close to $1. So I wouldn't argue with that. If you have him though, sell him. I don't think Venser decks are going to take over the planet. Although Venser plus Undying is a nice little combination. Gideon is pretty stagnant, so I would suggest that you try, if you have Elspeth, move out of Elspeth or Garrick Relentless and move into Gideon. He's going to be great for white decks, for control decks, for blue-white control, for dealing with crap tokens, those faggots. Garrick Primal Hunter is moving into the unbuyable range, which means if you want it, you have to get it now. It's went up $3 in 1 week, in 5 days I mean, and the next 5 days it's went up another $2. So I'm seeing an easy $20. Jace Memory Adept is a piece of junk, and if you have it, sell it and go buy yourself a Gideon. Sorin, once again, sucks. Chandra, once again, sucks. Tezzeret has actually dropped slightly, so I guess the Tezzeret deck is not coming to fruition, and Karn Liberated is still on its way down. Expect this card to reach about $12. If at $12 you want to buy it, buy it. But right now it's going to remain between $13.90 and $14.70-ish. So that's the Planeswalkers. I will have to add in Sorin, but we all know Sorin is opening up at 60. The foil is going to be about 100 during the pre-release, then during the release it's going to take the same route as Tezzeret, 50, then 40. He's going to stay steady around 40, blah blah blah. I'm not adding any charts today for this one because, to be honest, I have a lot of stuff to go over with the pre-release tomorrow. So let's move on to the next grouping. Now, normally I would go to Titans, but I want to talk about Mythics for a second. More importantly, Mythics from Innistrad. As you can see, they've almost all of them, except for Reaper of the Abyss, which this is kind of weird. Every single Mythic in Innistrad has gone down. And there's a very simple reason for that. The reason that every single Innistrad Mythic has gone down is because people are selling their Innistrad cards to get ready to play in the pre-release and the release tournaments for Dark Ascension. What does that mean for you? It means that it's the perfect time to buy those Mythics that you really would like to get your hands on. If Geist of Saint Traft keeps dropping to $19, that's maybe $18.50. It may be a time to buy. If Mikaeus drops down to $4, I would pick up Mikaeus at $4. If you're playing Modern and you want to get a Past in Flames for $3, I would try and get it for $3. Also, Angelic Destiny from M12 keeps dropping. Because I guess people don't like the idea of replacing. Well, I'll show you later another card that's gone down from the White Weenie deck, but Destiny just keeps dropping, so Destiny's Child just ain't working for me. Uh, Grim Grin is dropping to levels where you'll be able to buy him without even getting any, losing any tickets in the process. Even Olivia is the one card I would really look into at 6 tickets. If you could work out a deal with someone to get like 2 for $5.50 a piece and 11 tickets for 2 Olivias if you need a playset, now would be the time to do so because Black Red Vampires do look pretty good. Not to mention it's a staple in a Stride block. So, also Scab Ruinator is down slightly, but still rather expensive for a card that no one's ever used in a winning deck. So, I just wanted to go. I'm sorry, I'm still sick. I just wanted to go over the mythics from Innistrad for a moment and show you guys what happens right before a pre-release, which I think is kind of funny, but you learn fun things with numbers. I would also suggest that Geist may be down, but we may have seen its top. If 2164 is the top, that means that when a stock in the stock market reaches its top, it has nowhere to go but down. So if you can wait for it to go down, you may be able to get it in that $15 range. I project it could be in that $15 range within 2 weeks, 3 weeks. The first MTGO standard tournament with Dark Ascension cards is going to determine what the price of Geist is. If you see all Dungrove decks or all Ramp decks, then Geist is going to drop a lot. If you see Delver decks that use, Stromkirk Captain or whatever his name is, stuff like that, Geist may reach its 21 level again. But right now, I'd watch Geist very carefully. So let's go on to the next set of mythics, which are the rest of the standard mythics. Alright, so there's a lot of cards here, but mostly I want to focus on a couple. Molten Tail Masticore has gone up. I'm sorry that that's red. I kind of screwed up the colors a little bit. I think people are catching on that with all these creatures in your graveyard, I think a 4-mana 4/4 regenerator that deals 4 damage to a creature, player, or planeswalker has a lot of use, and it may be the time to buy Molten Tail Masticore before it ends up in one of the MTGO decks that wins, and then you know what happens. As soon as that happens, it doubles in price. The next one that I wanted to talk about was Glissa. After the Star City games opened, and I guess Honolulu PTQ, was that the big one? I don't know. I didn't really pay much attention. Everyone was talking about Glissa. She's taken a nice gain. Thrun the Last Troll is still going up. Thank you, Dungrove decks and swords. That's the reason. And Elish Norn Grand's Cenobite or Cernoble, whatever the fuck her name is. This card and Phyrexian Swarmlord are going to be two cards that people don't know what exactly to do. There's going to be a lot of birthing pod decks out there. And I think half of them are going to play Elish Norn, and the other half are going to play Phyrexian Swarmlord. So, I think that if you are looking into the birthing pod deck, I would avoid Elish Norn, and I would go with the Phyrexian dude, because he was a promo, and you can get it really cheap. So, I mean, granted, yeah, you're going to be going up against tokens, but you're going to be getting back creatures, and it's going to annoy your opponent, and then he's going to play Grafdigger's Cage, and you're going to get angry at him. Whatever. Skithrix has gone up. I don't know why. I don't see Infect as a viable format very long. Consecrated Sphinx, now might be the time to maybe buy one as a one-of for a blue control deck. At around 9 tickets, I think it's a nice investment. Hero Blade Hold is going down. I mean, you could see that a lot of the cards that are very, very expensive, or the cards that people might have that are older that they want to move, have taken slight drops, and that's because of the Dark Ascension pre-release. And once again, the mono black deck does not exist because Phyrexian Obliterator continues to go down. Expected to reach 10 very soon, and I think it'll stop at 10. It's a good card. It's a great card, to be honest, but it will not see play. Sadly, no matter how badly I want it to see play, no matter how badly I want the mono black deck to come back, full frontal, it ain't happening. So let's go on to the Titans, which gives me some very interesting information. So let's take a look at that. Alright, so as we proceed to give you what you need, very interesting stuff going on in the Titans. For the first time in a long time, Wormcoil actually went up. Grave Titan's up. Inferno Titan's up massively. Primeval Titan is up massively. Obviously, Ramp Run is still tier 1, and it's going to remain tier 1. Sun Titan has remained at its kind of stagnant area. Frost Titan has taken a slight hit, but it's still well above what it ever was, to be honest. Inferno Titan's up $3. Maybe a good time to sell, but obviously the red-green ramp run deck is going to be something that you're going to see a lot in standard tournaments. Grave Titan, card that I am in love with, is on its way back up again a lot. So those are the Titans. Next I'll have the Teen Titans, Batman, and no way, it's Robin, I think, in there. No, but the Titans are very interesting. The fact that they've exploded in price. I think people are just getting lazy, to be honest, and they're just building ramp run decks. That's the reason why a couple other cards are going up and some others are going down. So next we are going to look at the most important thing, and that is lands. So like I said last week, lands tell you everything. So let's look at some important stuff here. First stuff I want you to look at is the stuff with the arrows. We have Razor Verge Thicket. After taking a really big bounce, it's seen a really massive drop. On the other hand, Copperline Gorge continues to go up. What does that tell me? Green-white ramp isn't going to get played. It's going to be green-red ramp. I mean, if Inferno Titan's going up, Primeval Titan's going up, and Copperline Gorge is going up, that says red-green ramp right there. Blackleaf Cliffs has finally gone back up after a really, really sharp downward turn. Like I said last week, now may be the time to buy some Blackleaf Cliffs, but it's a little late for that now, isn't it? The other ones I have are Gavany Township. If you do not have Gavany Township after its major spike, I suggest you buy yourself a playset for approximately 1 ticket. I have no issues with that. And also now is the time to buy Moorland Haunt. If you do not have it, I would make sense for 2 tickets to get your playset of Moorland Haunt. I think it's going to even go down lower, so you can wait on Moorland Haunt. But Gavany Township, if you don't have the playset, go out and buy it for the 26 cents after it was 67 cents just a few days ago. Then I have 2 things here. I have something circled. I have Dark Slick Shores. People didn't want to think that blue-black control was coming back or even maybe like a little toned down version of Solar Flare. But Dark Slick Shores has gone up almost double in price. Or it's taken it's been going up and down, up and down. I don't think people know what to do about blue black. And my suggestion, even if it goes up and down, buy a Consecrated Sphinx. Because I think that blue black control will get play. And if it does, what's the one card that every blue black control deck plays? Consecrated Sphinx. So, and the second one I wanted to look at was Inkmoth Nexus. That's another card that continues to go up, even though Infect isn't exactly the world's greatest win condition. Inkmoth Nexus is definitely a card that I think is going to reach a high at around this level, between 963 and 10. And what does that say to me? Ramp Run. Expect Ramp Run. On the other hand, it looks like Delver's taking a hit. So if you can get that Ramp Run deck, or if you already have it, I'd hold on to it. On the other hand, if you want to look into Ramp Run, it's going to be kind of hard, I'll be honest. You may want to go the red-white route instead of the red-green. The green-white route, I'm sorry. The green-white route seems like the better play monetarily. Ticket-wise, it costs less. Isolated Chapel has finally taken its hit after the Soarin' high that's been on for about a month now. I'd say you'd buy that at 194, or approximately 2 tickets apiece. It's a nice dual land, and as you know, and I know, as SOM cycles out, these dual lands are going to go up a lot. So let's take a quick look at the swords and then rares, and then that's it. I will leave you guys alone. Now, as I said, there's a lot of rares and a lot of things that you need to look at. I tried to keep it simple by just picking out a couple here and there. So we have Blasphemous Act, which has gone up 10 cents in 5 days. That may not seem like a lot, but that means to me that people are buying the card. Bloodline Keeper is a card to me that is a staple in Standard and will be a staple in Standard for the next 5 to 6 sets. That means you should own a minimum of 4. If you don't, go buy it now. Spend the $4 or even less than that. Champion of the Parish. Everyone's getting excited about Gather the Townsfolk, Champion of the Parish. I think that it is definitely going to be very strong going forward in red-white. Burning humans, I guess. Gather the Townsfolk. Turn 2, you get 2 tokens, so you're attacking with a 3/3 on turn 2 instead of a 2/2. It makes it a lot better. Blah 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 blah. In response, Curse of Death's hold has doubled in price. I'm guessing that decks in both ISD block and Standard are going to be running main deck Curse of Death's hold. Daybreak Ranger is an interesting card. If you are looking into the Ramp Run, blah 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 blah, Primeval Titan, Inferno Titan deck, Daybreak Ranger is one of the cards that it runs in, so people have been selling that. Obviously, with the Dark Ascension coming out, if they have like 8, they're probably selling 4 and getting like, 50 cents a piece, so it's like 2 tickets. Devil's Play, blah blah blah. Heartless Summoning. Heartless Summoning took a drop. And that's after everyone's talking about everyone wants to play the Heartless Summoning deck. I don't get it. I don't. If the Heartless Summoning deck was as great as everyone says it is, I think that it would receive. It would have gone up at least over $1 by now. So I see it as worthless. I would stay away from even the thought of that deck. Mentor the Meek has dropped. I just don't think this card has any play in any deck going forward, at least for the time being. You just need an insane amount of mana for it to work with. You know, I mean, it just takes up 2 spots that Midnight Haunting could be in. Now, Snapcaster Mage, after the bots manipulated it and kept it at $8 because they bought so many that they ended up not being able to sell any because no one was buying them. There's something like 550 Snapcasters open per day. I did the math out, and there's just like an insane amount of Snapcaster Mages open a day. So, but it's gone back up. So I'm guessing Grafdigger's Cage isn't nearly as scary as people thought it would be. It's not going to ruin the format. And the last one is Stromkirk Noble. As you can see, this card has just gone down and down and down and down. It took one, it went up once when the, you know, about a week, 2 weeks ago, when the blue-red deck was like every deck in the ISD Premier. But other than that, that card has done nothing but go down. Stromkirk Noble is definitely a card that is phasing out. That's a little Mirage or Visions reference for those of you who know that. But I definitely think that Stromkirk Noble is not going to get much play. I think they're better 1-drops. And in terms of vampires, it may be a sideboard card. All I know is that if you got it, sell it. It doesn't make sense to hold it. If you have a playset, always keep the playset, but it's definitely not a card that you want to own in your collection in multiples of, hoping it'll go up. Let's look at the next set of rares. Okay, now as you can see here, the next set of rares is very interesting stuff. A Grand Abolisher is the main one I want you to look at. It was a mainstay in white decks, but I think that it's about to be taken out of white decks in exchange for Thalia from Dark Ascension. So it's taken a massive drop, just completely massive drop. Dungrove Elder is another card that's interesting. I guess people thought it was as high and sold it at like $1.50. But it's a card that you need 4 of. It's a great card for green. I like green. Especially if you've played Dark Ascension already, you know green is very powerful. I think $3.17 is the high for Grim Lavamancer. I don't know if this card will see play, to be honest. I would sell them. I think that's its high, and I think it's got nowhere to go but down. Chandra's Phoenix is an interesting card. You'd think that card would go down a lot more since pretty much everyone online got 2 of them as promos, but I think that it's on its way down finally. Next we have Phantasmal Image and Solemn Simulacrum. Two cards that are getting play in 2 completely separate decks, both of which are going up. Solemn Simulacrum is being played in the Primeval Titan, Inferno Titan deck, blah blah blah. It's also being played in the Glissa deck, while Phantasmal Image is being played in every deck that has blue. It's also being played in Birthing Pod decks and other crap like that. Finally, Etch Champion is going down. I've noticed this kind of Tempered Steel weird stuff going on. I don't think Tempered Steel is going to see much play. If I were you, I would not look to invest in a Tempered. Actually, it might be the cheapest way to get into Tier 1 Standard, but I just don't think Tempered Steel is Tier 1. I mean, if you don't get a good opening hand, you know, you're looking at a turn 4 Primeval Titan. And the last card I want you to look at, Ratchet Bomb. A card everyone wants, everyone has. If you go to tournaments, it's sold out. In paper. Online, it's in demand, and to be honest, it's very expensive. What is making it interesting is that's not a sideboard card. its main deck. It's being main decked 2 or 3 of, and then it's also in the sideboard. So I would suggest that you wait, because as you've noticed here, it did go up to 468 and then dropped down to 382, then went up to 416. If it does make another drop, I would suggest you buy your playset if you don't already have one. If you bought them at $1.50 like I did, okay, you've made some money, but I also want a playset for my decks. So I'll go to the final set or final grouping of rares. I just thought it was very interesting that, oh, also Honor of the Pure has taken a almost, what is it, a 50% drop? No, it's like a 33% drop. That's a massive drop for one card. So I thought that was interesting. Let's go on to the next and final grouping. Okay, my final chart of the day has some interesting stuff in it. As you can see, just like with Edge Champion, Tempered Steel is dropping. Black Sun Zenith remains stable. Phyrexian Crusader is dropping. Phyrexian Revoker is raising slightly up. Slagstorm, I actually put in the wrong color, but it's pretty much doubled in price, which means, once again, just like with the Ratchet Bomb, everyone wants a good Slagstorm. It's much better than Whip Flare, to be honest. Blade Splicer is an interesting card because, see those two arrows that are pointing at each other? It's between Torpor Orb and Birthing Pod. In theory, those two cards should move hand in hand. As one goes up, the other goes up. As one goes down, the other goes down. Okay? So as you can see here, Birthing Pod dropped down to 571. Torpor Orb went from 84 to 73. It's definitely two cards to watch, because if Birthing Pod decks do catch on, there's your answer to the Birthing Pod deck, and so there's your sideboard card, and there's your main deck card. Hex Parasite dropped down slightly. Lash Wraith, no one cares about. Phyrexian Metamorph, a card that is finally getting its due. I think people are finally seeing that it's a better card than Phantasmal Image. I mean, shit, you can make another Dungrove Elder and actually put an equipment on it without sacrificing it. Yay! You know, it's a great card. I would suggest that you get your hands on a Spellskite at under 6. And Surgical Extraction is a card that continues to go up. Personally, I mean, I know it's the wrong thing to do, but I've main decked Surgical Extractions. I mean, you want to hit me with a mana leak? That's fine. I'll remove all of the mana leaks from your deck, and I'll be able to do whatever the hell I want to your stupid little faggot-ass Delphers. Delver, whatever, Delpher, faggots, I don't know, they're gay. But Surgical Extraction is a cool card. I like it. So that's all you need to know for this week. And we will get to see what happens in 5 days from now, well actually 4 days from now, when Dark Ascension's out and people are playing GR Dungrove with the Undying 2 green mana dude, the uncommon. They're playing Birthing Pod with Undying creatures. They are playing sorry about that. They're playing Sorin Token Control, which is always a fun deck to go up against. Nothing's more fun than going up against an army of tokens that you need to kill Sorin, by the way. Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. So I will see you guys. Peace out, and I hope this helps slightly.